Kinane, everybody.
We're here, we're doing it. It's me. All right, fuck. We're, no, thank you so much. It's late on a Thursday, and we're in the strip mall in Bakersfield. Because sometimes your dreams almost come true. And then they take a hard left right before the goal. No, it's great. What a dumb comedy. How dumb? Just this arrangement that we've all agreed to in here. That I'm here because I value the opinion of strangers more than my closest relatives and loved ones, and you're here because you don't realize you can entertain yourself better than I ever could. What a fragile relationship this is. Don't you have the internet? Everything's on there. I'm on there in your own home. Why are you here? What a confusing... This shouldn't be a thing. But it is, and so we're doing it. You got me for about an hour. I'm gonna start telling some shit. We'll see. You already saw what a fulfilling show of similarly looking white fellas. We're all gonna be meeting in the green room and figuring out which Democratic governor we're gonna try and kidnap next. So that's what's going on here. Let's be positive. Anybody else's retirement plan just revolve around not living that long? Because, been crunching some numbers, and it's not. I mean, you save in case of an emergency, and now that emergency is living past 55. So, I know it's looking bad when cults start looking like a pretty good option. I don't know if I watch all the cult documentaries and I'm on board way too long. Like, way past where they're like, this is bad. I'm like, let's hear them out. Hold on. They're coming up on some good ideas. I always watch them, like, I'm way too involved with the cult because I watch to the point where they're like, it's always, because they always start off good. And that's the thing. That means that there's cults out there that don't have documentary crews following them around because they're doing fine. And if you're part of one of those, hit up your boy. Because I'm looking to disappear, man. I'm really looking. Because all the ones that start off like, oh man, cost of living got you down? Sure does. You want to live, you want to split the rent 97 ways on this abandoned mansion in the wood? I'd love to. I'm sick of looking at these empty luxury condominiums filling up. Okay, but you live all the way in the woods. What do you guys do for groceries? Oh, everybody chips in the organic garden? I've been trying to eat healthier anyway. This is still lining up. This is checking a lot of boxes. We all get to be in the band? Fuck it. Cheryl, pack up the stuff. We're doing it again. I know the last few didn't work out, but I got a feeling about this one. But then they always go, it's always the same thing. It's always like the main dude. It's always like fucking Brian with a Y. And you're on board with like all of Brian's ideas. He's charismatic. He's usually shirtless, but he's ripped, but he's kind. And then all of a sudden, Brian wants you to start calling him Jesus, and you're like, this is... Because it's never Bible Jesus. It's always horny Jesus. It's never like Jesus because you want to feed everybody. No, it's Jesus because he wants to fuck all our wives. That's always the kind of Jesus it is. It's like, oh, fucking Brian, shit. Jesus wants us to have dinner around the big table tonight. He's got an announcement. And he's like, as you know, now that I'm Jesus, as a vessel of God, I'm going to have to fuck all the women folk. And you're like, God damn it. We were so close. You heard him, Cheryl. Get in there. I don't want to try. Listen, it's about individual sacrifice for the greater good. I thought I was going to be playing drums in the band. He just got me on big cymbals, all right? I used to live by the I used to live in Los Angeles. I lived right by the big Scientology center that was right in the middle of the city. And that's wild, because that's a cult. And it was just right in the city. And that's how self-centered that the people in that city are. Like, that's a cult. And they're like, I have an audition for paper towels. I can't believe I have to drive around this cult right now. And it's wild, because it was right in the city, and everybody knew it was a cult. But then it's like, okay, you're in a cult, but then they wouldn't dress like a cult. They were like, just like blue pants with a tucked in, like dressed like Best Buy managers. And that was so upsetting. Like, you're in a cult, be in a cult, get a fucking headdress. You have a clipboard. You're in a cult and you're nerds? Come on, man. You are blowing this. But I felt bad for the security guards at Scientology. I don't know if the security guards are Scientologists or if they just have to uphold crazy rules. Because they're just like, yeah, I work for, Securitas or whatever. They're like, stop filming. And you're like, why? And they're like, man, I make $11 an hour. I don't, just please. Almost Christmas. I gotta get my kids gifts. But I felt bad for those guys because there was a point when I was living there, a dude pulled up right in front of the big Scientology center, just parked his car, went into his trunk, pulled out, I remember the details of this story from news, pulled out a samurai sword. That stuck with me because samurai sword, that's the business blade of all swords. Other swords, scimitar, that's all show, that's pageantry. Viking sword, no human can lift one of those. That's for folklore. But samurai sword, that's a now, here and now kind of. I'll get something done with it if I need to. And he pulled out a samurai sword and he just stormed the front of the Scientology building. And the security guards shot him. Which, sure. But think of how tough of a decision that had to be. Because, all right, yeah, a guy with a samurai sword running out of school, library, fucking, you're dead. Tough shit. But Scientology and then security guards who aren't part of what's happening inside, just watching this guy like, they're just like, I've only been here 2 weeks, man. You're so sure you do it. This could just be what they do on Tuesdays. I don't know. Maybe he's celebrating a promotion. He got all the ghosts off his skeleton. And this is how they welcome him aboard. I don't know. So that's the only time I felt bad for security guards. I don't know. I heard somebody use it. I hadn't heard this phrase in a while. I heard somebody use the phrase "fuck you money." I hadn't heard that in a while. Like, man, I just want "fuck you money." Look around. That's any money. You're here right now. You have it. Congratulations. That's any money. Like if you walk by a homeless guy, it's like, you got $1? And you're like, no, but you did? Yep. Extra fuck you if you did the pat down too. Like, oh, where's that rascally $1 bill I thought I had? Oh, I know I don't have it, but let me give you a little bit of false hope just to rub it in. I'm a real piece of shit. Fuck you money. It's any money. It could be good car insurance. Like the kind where you could hit somebody on purpose. I don't have it now. I used to, and I did that, and it was great. That was like a four-way stop. It was like a yellow light. I'm trying to make a left, and there's a guy coming, and he's not stopping, and it's yellow. Now I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, this guy has plenty of time to stop, and it's yellow. Now it's old. Now it's getting old. Now it's brown. Now it's mustard yellow. It's old yellow. And he's still just coming, even increasing speed. Now it's red, and I know this guy's gonna blow the red light, and I gotta make a left turn. And I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna just kamikaze this dude. But I was thinking like, well, I'll turn my wheels out. I had a Jeep at the time. I had a Jeep Wrangler with the big 35-inch wheels. fucking dickhead kind of G. Yeah, I know, that's not like me. But guess what? I'm not having kids and I don't eat meat, so I'm taking what I want out of this earth. So I got the big tire. I'm like, I'll turn the tires in, thinking like, that'll like, I remember I just out loud, I was like, I'm gonna put a little heat on them. Nobody was in the car with me. But I had to announce my intentions, you know? I'm just trying to put a little heat on them. So I turned the wheels out, thinking maybe this guy coming through will like see that and be like, whoa, close call. I shouldn't be going through red lights. Life's fragile. That's really what I thought. But what happened was I just tuna canned the side of this guy's car. And as it got close, it was a BMW too. So I was like, fucking triple points. And I just saw, it was turn signal, rear view mirror, just plastic bits flying. I'm like, you weren't using that shit anyway. And it flying up. And it felt great. And it felt like, oh, like you can't put a price on that. You can, $1,200. That's how much it cost to fix my car. But it was worth it. And that was fuck you money. It was $1,200. But it's the most minuscule amount that I can think of applicably is whatever amount of money it is to use the play my song next option on a Touch Tunes jukebox. Because that's the most fuck you, that's the most, somebody just sat in front of that, just, and then, and you just went in and ruined their life for $1.25. You don't believe me? Tomorrow's Friday. Go find whichever bar all the fucking road crews at. Where all the construction dudes are just sitting in there, just punching Coors Lights into their face. Just being as long as I keep doing this and Pantera plays nonstop, I don't have to smack my family around all weekend. That's it. As long as I get 40 Coors Lights in here, 40 bullets, and Cemetery Gates is uninterrupted, I don't have to knock my wife around the trailer all weekend. You roll in there with your $1.25, just go, I heard Whitney Houston wants to dance with somebody. And you tell me how life goes for everybody involved. Tell me that fuck you money's not real. Man, I think I'm gonna die weird. I don't want to, but circumstances are proving otherwise. I don't know. I feel like, I just don't think natural causes are coming to get your boy. I don't think I'm going out with Natty C's, you know? I think, you can call him that. Fucking what happened to Donald? Natty C's got him, dude. Wild, out of nowhere, Natty C's just rolled up on him. Natty C's rolled up on our boy Don. Our Father who art in heaven. That's the eulogy. I think some of it, I think I'm just too, affable. I think I just go along with stuff. Not, I'm not looking for crazy shit, all right? I'm 45. I got through that part of my life of, really trying to seek it out. I need to go. I really thought I had to be a fucking Vice journalist. I gotta get in there and find out what's going on. I gotta embed myself with these dirtbags for, looks like about 15 or 20 years. But now it's I just kind of go along with stuff. Here's the simple version of this, that this story isn't even finished, and I don't know if it will be because the ending's too grotesque to make into comedy. But I had to help my neighbor pull his tooth. I didn't have to. He asked me, and I said yes. That's what I'm talking about. Where I'm I just go along with stuff. I was leaving my house. I lived in a duplex at the time. Fucking Todd, lived next door. Todd was a building manager, but he was just boning my landlord's daughter, so he got to live there for free. And Todd just had, his whole torso was just an unfinished dragon tattoo. Which I know, because he never wore a lot of clothes. He was just always out, just like, ha, fucking Todd. And I'm leaving the house one morning, and I'm like, oh, Todd, I got a package coming. Could you keep an eye out for it and just like tuck it so nobody steals it? We lived on a busy street. And I'm like, it was like a box full of shoes, because I was getting this hookup on shoes. And I was like, it's shoes, Todd, I'll give you some shoes. And he goes, man, you know I don't wear shoes. I'm like, yeah, I do know. Every time you've come into my apartment to fix something, you've been barefoot. It's the first time I've been like, can you please put shoes on when you come into my apartment? You're disgusting. And so he's like, yeah, I can look out for your package, but you got to do me a favor. And I'm like, all right. We all know how the economy of favors work. Something of equal or lesser value. That's how favors work. Okay, Todd, what can I do for you that is equal or lesser to you seeing a box and slightly moving it to the side for a short amount of time? And he just goes, he pulls his cheek way back and goes, you see this one back here? It's gotta go. I'm like, so you're asking me for a ride to the dentist? No. That day, went on to a pre-noon tequila drunk, some fishing wire, a 15-pound dumbbell, an insufficient drop. And that graduated to vice grips. Now you see why that's not totally a comedy story yet. But a story that I think Bakersfield could understand. Been there, done that, buddy. In Sizer, out behind the Buffalo Wild Wings last Tuesday. Same thing, dude. Vape shop, don't have a good dental plan with it. Had to take care of it ourselves. But I was back, it was back in June, early summer. I was back in Chicago, where I'm from. We got a lot of Midwest boys on this show. I was back in Chicago. I was drinking at a bar. Didn't know people at that bar. Friends of friends and friends of friends of friends, and they had all left already. And it was late enough to where the bar was closing, but I don't think I'm a celebrity, but I have enough clout to where like, all right, bar's closed, and they just go, you can stay. And I don't really want that invitation. But my aversion to danger is squashed by free booze. So I'm like, this might be bad, but a couple more whiskeys might make it good. Because nothing good happens once the bar's closed, but you get to stay. It's not like, get your laptop out, man. Let's get you some more money back on your taxes. It's like, no. Nothing's good. You fucking, you know blood sacrifice? No, shit. So I'm just at the bar, and it's one of those, like, everybody's drunk to the point where we're all new friends. Yeah. It's not a bad way to be, but I would like to think that maybe I'm aging out of that era. You should hear the rest of the story. And there's a guy, he's to my right, and his arm's on my shoulder. It's one of those kind of like, we're getting at it, one of those guys. We're not drinking, and I don't even like doing these. I don't want to be, like, I'm not going to get that drunk tonight. I'm not going to get that drunk tomorrow night. This is just a story about the time I did. And his arm's on, he's like, yeah, we're going to be good friends. I'm like, all right, good friends, buddy. He said good friends. He didn't say best friends, but he said good friends. We can get there. I don't know you, but good friends it is. Tonight, at least. And he's just going, good friends. Good friends. And his arm, I thought it fell off my shoulder, but it really just slid down to my lower back. And he went, good friends. And I'm just like, man, whiskey makes my shoulders tired too. Man, Jameson makes gravity so much stronger than you realize. So I'm still not picking it up, And his arms on there, he's like, good friends. And then he kissed me on my cheek. And it was sweet. I'm not about that. This is everybody's welcome at a Kyle Kinane show. It was a sweet gesture. I didn't feel threatened. It was a sweet gesture. I'm not a gay man. But I have been spending a lot of time telling people what an ally that I am. And now here I am. Fucking cleats on the field, like thought we could just take my word for it. I was just supporting. I was just supporting, letting people know that I got you. But now, because I also believe like fucking, he wasn't being threatening. There was no harm. There's no threat in it. It was more of just like, oh shit, I want everybody to get out there and, with being benign and being just shoot your shot. Get out there and shoot your shot. Life's short. I just didn't know how to tell this dude, I'm not even the target for the shot that you're shooting right now. And he was, and not, everybody's drunk, and he was just a sweet dude. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to navigate this right now. This is like, I don't want to break the little fella's heart. But also I'm like, weird. You just kissed me on my cheek. And so I'm sitting there like, I don't have a way to handle this. And another guy rolled up to my left, and he put his arm this way on my shoulder. And he just went, you're Kinane. I'm like, ugh, word's getting out. I'm like, yep. He goes, come on, man. Let's go to the bathroom and do some coke. And I was like, well, this wasn't the off-ramp that I was looking for. But when God closes the door, he opens a stall. But I'm not trying to party like that. That shit's scary now, because I'm trying to tell him, like, man, what about all the fentanyl and everything like that? And he goes, I've been doing it all night. I'm still here. I'm like, well, who am I to argue with quality control? And I was drunk enough too that we were in a stall, like it wasn't broken up. Like one of them big old blue cheese crumbles fell on the floor, and I was like, I got it. And he's like, man, you don't have to do that. And I was like, no. You ever gross out a stranger who wants to do drugs with you? You ever a fucking coke maniac go like, yeah, too much, man. I don't think I'm living right. I bought some guns. I mean, there's a bit, don't worry. The segue's not there, but... obviously the last 2.5 years kind of twisted people up a little weird. I got guns. I didn't think I was going to be... I was not a gun... wasn't raised with guns. I grew up around them. I never thought I was going to be the guy that was going to buy guns. And then one day, before pandemic, I thought I was going to buy a gun because where I was living in an apartment with Mrs. and a homeless guy was going door to door pretending to sell magazine subscriptions, and my voice cracked when I told him to get off my porch. And I felt so small. And I was like, I need weapons. 'Cause you better get out of here. Time to be a registered firearm owner. But I thought, like, all right, I'll wait. My girlfriend wasn't home. I'm like, I'll wait till she gets home. I'll do like the car sale negotiation. Like, I'm gonna start here, and she'll start here, and we'll meet in the middle. Like, I'll be like, we gotta get guns, and she'll be like, that's ridiculous, and then we'll get like a cool axe or something. Maybe a samurai sword. So she comes home. I didn't even tell her the context. I'm like, babe, we gotta get a gun, and she just went, yeah. And right there, like, oh, we should get a gun. Why? What have you been thinking about? I had an experience today where I was scared of a benign individual. Why are you excited? And then we're like, all right, she wasn't raised around guns either. Let's find out if we're gun people. So we went to the gun range. We'll decide. Let's go shoot some guns, see if we're even comfortable around these things. So it's weird. We made a date out of it. You have to go to the gun range. I don't know if it's like up here too, but like in LA, the gun range, you have to go at least 2 people. Is that how it is here? No. Is there a gun range? You just go fuck off. More on that later. Yeah, more on that later. Okay, well, maybe LA County, it has to be 2 people because they believe that's some sort of suicide prevention. Is that, well, you wouldn't want to kill yourself if you had to go with somebody else. I'm like, I don't think, if you're already suicidal, I don't think that's really going to be like, well, I don't want to inconvenience somebody. Like, I don't think that's the method that is going to, you're just going to go with your buddy to the gun range. Like, man, why are you giving me a gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings now? I thought we were going to go after the gun range. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's preventative. So we go, we'll make a date night out of it. We went, we got dinner, we had some wine. Oh yeah, nobody gets drunk and shoots guns, whatever. So we go full of red wine over to the gun range and walk in, and the gun tender, I don't know the terms, gunsmith, the gunologist, I don't know whatever. He's behind the counter with all the weapons. And he goes to the girlfriend first, ladies first. He goes, oh, what would you like to shoot tonight? And she just right away, she just goes, Glock, because she listens to rap. So she's got brand name affiliation. She didn't know she's a brand name. And then he puts a Glock on the counter. And we're like, well, that's what that looks like. We're learning. And he goes to me, he's like, what do you want looking at? And I was playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. So I was looking, there was a revolver, like a little revolver. And I was like, ooh, this one. And he scoffed at me. Like the guy, he's like, he was like gun shaming me. Like, what did I do? Pick a gay gun? Mock my gun choice? I picked a gay gun? Stand in front of it. We'll see how gay this gun is. So we get our guns, we get our bullets, and go into the alley, I bowl. I don't know what gun. The gun lanes. We go to the gun lanes. And we go in there, there's a security guard in there, and he's got one gun. And it's the first time in my life I'm like, you need more guns. I'm like, nobody in here knows what they're doing, and we're drunk. But he was like looking at a movie on his phone or something. So we start shooting. And it's loud, and everybody's got hearing protection on. And weirdly enough, I know this is, if you know guns, this is not characteristic, but her gun, Glock, jams. Uncharacteristic of that type of gun, but it is. Jams up. And so she decides to remedy it. Also, first-time shooter decides to remedy the jammed gun by slapping it. And yeah, okay. I'm new to guns too, and I'm not here to mansplain anything, but I was thinking that's probably not the way to fix a jammed firearm, is to just I wasn't trying to dominate. I wasn't trying to act. I was just like, I don't think that's what the gun tender told us to do in this situation. And I'm trying to explain that, but everybody's wearing hearing protection, so you have to scream everything you want to communicate. So everything you want to say is going to come out way more aggressive than you hope it does. So I know what I was trying to say. I was like, if you're the way you're slapping it, best case scenario, you're going to take a chunk out of your thumb the way you're holding it. I mean, you're pointing it downfield there, but still, and that's like, I just don't think slapping it's a good, but I had to yell it, so I'm sure like what she heard was like, you dumb bitch, are you slapping a gun? That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen, and I'm me. So she was responding to the tone, not the message. Because then I know what she was saying back to me was more along the lines like, I realize you're concerned, but I actually see where I was nudging it. I could see into the chamber that if the bullet did it would like enter the barrel and it would be okay. I could see that, but because that she had to yell it, what I heard was like, you know so much about guns, you fucking fix it, you fucking Smith. And then she slapped it on the counter and stormed out. And now I became the reason you have to go as a pair to the gun range, because I look like I just got dumped and I'm holding 2 loaded handguns. Just like, it's fine. She gets a little. Plus, we've been, So anyway, we didn't get a gun then. We're like, we probably shouldn't have guns, given this one foray into the hobby ended like this. But then the pandemic happened, and I was putting all my stuff in storage in Burbank to move up to Oregon, where I live now. And I saw a big line down the street right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I went, what's that line for? And it was a gun store. And I looked at everybody in line. And I was like, oh, these are not upstanding citizens that I am glad that they're armed, because they look like they're going to be selfless and protecting a neighborhood. I was like, these guys are tool bags. This guy's got a Punisher t-shirt tucked into jorts, and he's getting a gun? The fuck out. Me too. Then me too, all right? Listen, I might lose, but I'm not going to lose without a fight. I don't want this stooge finding out I got more ravioli in my garage than he does. Oh, fuck it. I'll go down Blaze of Glory style, So I bought a gun, and I should not have a gun. Oh, my God. I dropped it right away. Like, first day, I had too much moisturizer on my hands, and we were using all that hand sanitizer. Everything was getting all crispy. I'm like, I got Lubriderm up. I keep these precious. And then I was like, check out this gun. Like, piece of prison soap just squirted right in my hands. Like, this thing needs a better grip. Like, that's what that part's called. I'm like, it's not doing a real good job. But I shouldn't have a gun in the house. Because if you didn't grow up with guns, then you just have a gun in the house, you just know that. Like that, you'll just think about it. It's like having like an iguana or something. Because I'll get drunk and I'll just be like, man, I wonder what that gun's up to. And then my girlfriend's like, don't take it out of the case. I'm like, I won't. Man, I live in Oregon now, and it's like, well, where do you go shooting up in Oregon? It's like, fucking anywhere. Is that Best Buy closed? All right, go up behind there. Best Buy's made out of that good brick. Y'all know how Best Buy made out of that good brick? That's the clip for the new special. It's all Netflix, Kyle Kinane. Best Buy made out of that good brick. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, I go out to public land, which I'm sure you got around here to go shooting at. What is in California? It's Bureau of Land Management down here still? Yeah. Or is it federal land? Bureau of Land Management? It's wild, because when I was down here, we would go out like by Josh, but like the fucking mafia burial ground out by Joshua. It's fun because how like Bureau of Land Management, like federal land is still government land, but it's not a park. And they tell you the same pitch, like, you should come out here and enjoy this. Your tax dollars paid for it, and you should enjoy this beautiful place that your tax dollars paid for. But parks are different. You go to a park after they're like, your tax dollars paid for these national and state parks. Get out here and enjoy them. And as soon as you get to like a state park or national park, they're like, please leave no trace. Pack in what you pack out. Stay on the trail. Please don't look at the animals in the eye. They can't know you're here. It's like, we'd rather you left. That should be the theme for national parks. So we're glad you're here. We'd rather you left. You're only ruining this thing we were fighting so hard to preserve. But like federal land, they're like, fuck, your tax dollars paid for this, and we dare you to fuck it up more than we did. Get the fuck out here. You like dirt biking, and we're hiding government secrets at an unsafe depth. You get on out here. We got just 50-gallon drums full of green goo and alien skeletons, and you got a snowmobile that you put flamethrowers on, and we want to see it. Get on out here. Public lands, baby. Now, we do have warnings posted up that if you do spend more than 72 consecutive hours out here, you will start to grow extra digits. But you're going to lose them when you flip over that ATV, so get the fuck on out here, Bureau of Land Management. And that's where I go shoot in Oregon. It's just, that was a .gov website. .gov, I'd like to shoot my gun. .gov, Oregon.gov. There's a pile of rocks in the woods. Okay. .gov sent me here. .gov. This is where the government's like, shoot at those rocks. Right beneath the toddlers on three-wheelers. You betcha. It's like a human carnival game out there. And I love it, too. The first time I went out there, it was the day before the last presidential election, and that was a wild choice for me to go shoot guns. I'm like, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. Out here in the middle of Oregon, I got out there, there's people sitting in a car, but they'd already set up their folding table with all their long guns on it. Everything was out there. And I was like, ooh, okay, we're going to just be over here and do our own thing, 'cause I don't know who lives out in the middle of Oregon. And then the car doors all opened up, and it was 4 black dudes. And I was like, thank God. Oh, where are you guys going to be tomorrow? Because you seem like, I think we agree on some stuff without saying, but we're saying. But, so where are you going to be tomorrow, just in case? I would like to be around where you're at, because you're ready for stuff. And then the next time I went out there, same thing, full table, full spread of stuff, but the type of dudes I would expect to be out there. Just father and son, Santa helper looking motherfuckers, overall and beards, like, oh, this is what I thought. And they had like they were like musket loading shit, which sounds like gay gun aficionados. These musket loaders, you know? But I'm like, oh, this is what I thought I'd see in Central Oregon. But they had a Bluetooth speaker on their table. I got out of my car, they were playing Adele. So, you know what? That's on me for judging people. That's my fault for thinking I know. And then I made friends with them. They're like, hey, man, we got these homemade fireworks we're about to set off. I'm like, do you mean bombs? And they're like, yeah. Nah, you guys are all right. I like you guys. You guys are all right. Problem is like, I know what the acronym for Bureau of Land Management is. It's BLM. And I know that means something entirely different as of the last few years. I know that. But what I know and what I say are 2 different departments. And they don't communicate, all right? Those offices are on other sides of the complex, and those memos don't get across in time. Because sometimes people will be like, hey, Kyle, where do you go shoot guns in Oregon? And there is somebody in the thought department running with a fucking memo like, don't forget, BLM means Black Lives Matter, Kyle. God damn it, don't say it yet. And then before they can get to the communications department, I'm like, I go out to BLM land, dude. Fuck, man. It's wild. You can shoot at anything out there. Once in a while, America, she gets it right, you know? And then I lose friends. As I should. Why doesn't Jerry call anymore? Because he thinks you shoot at Black Lives Matter protests. And he finds that objectionable. That makes sense. If I could just shut my mouth and think for 2 seconds, my life would go swimmingly. But that's not how it is. I say stuff, and then I have to sit back and go, this is the world you've crafted for yourself. I like to take Lyfts and Uber all the time. I like to have drinks. There's no excuse to get a DUI anymore. There wasn't before, but now there's really not. I've tried before. That officer, it was like a funeral and a wedding. It was wild. I also like it when somebody has a nicer car than me and they're driving Lyft or Uber because I'm like, ooh, what happened? This wasn't your first choice. What happened? Had bigger plans, but she left? Did she take the kids? Tell me about it. We got a half hour. Spill the beans. This is fat-free gossip for me. I'm not going to tell anybody. This is like therapy, but I'm paying you to listen. Called Lyft one night after having a few. Guy pulled up, it was a new Jeep Cherokee. Like I said, I had a Jeep. I like Jeeps. New Jeep Cherokee? Shit, all right. You didn't buy a Jeep Cherokee hoping to just take strangers around. Give me some scoop. I also think that when you're taking a Lyft or Uber, just be nice, you know? It's not a chauffeur. You don't have to be a dick to the guy. Judge if they want to talk. If they want to be friendly back at them. Don't be an asshole. If they don't want to be friendly, don't try and force a conversation on them. Try to feel the vibe. I always get in with like, hey, how's it going? And go from there. I get into this Jeep Cherokee. I'm like, hey, how you doing? The guy's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, all right, it's going to be one of those rides. But right away, I get in there. I'm enjoying this guy's Jeep. You know, I'm like, ooh, leather seats. I'm feeling those. I'm like, you're gonna want to put a cover down on these. It's a college town. Kids throw up. You don't want to listen. You don't want to talk. So I'm just enjoying leather seats. I'm feeling this guy's Jeep. And I'm like, ooh, he's got the good sound system, upgraded sound system. I'm feeling speakers, dual climate control. Gotta fuck with those. Hot, cold, cold, hot. Come on, man. What's going on? Yeah. You know. Checking all that. It's got that new carpet in the back. I just like that new car carpeting. Not even the smell. I just like how it feels on my hands. So I'm just kind of just fondling that. And after a while, I just want to know more about this guy's Jeep Cherokee. So we've been quiet the whole time. And finally, I'm just enjoying this guy's car enough where I go, man, what year is this? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I hadn't said anything. Like maybe a half hour. All I did was sit in this guy's car and just molest it out of sheer curiosity. And then like the shittiest time travel ever, I just go, man, what year is this? Like, yeah, I normally travel through portals to get to where I want to, but sometimes you just need a ride to the airport and you got a cracked iPhone 10. You know what I'm talking about? And the guy just squinted at me in the rearview mirror, which that's the windows to the soul already, framed up perfectly. And he gave me a hard squint where I'm like, ooh, she did take the kids. Like, I could tell. And he's just like, man, I don't play my own music. I'm like, you should have been doing that this whole time. You didn't need my bullshit. I just keep my mouth shut, things would be fine. But that's how I handle life. I just think people want to talk. I almost said cool wheelchair to a guy once. I don't know. Yeah, oh my God's right. Yes, it's very right. You're very right. I don't know what I thought that was gonna, how did I think that was gonna be taken? What did I think the guy was gonna do? Like fucking roll into a wheelie and be like, yeah, lucky me, huh? I was at a crosswalk, we're both waiting to go, he was there, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, fuck man, look at you. Look, yeah, you got all the bells and whistles on that thing, huh? What's that now? It's not a whistle. It's what? It's a straw, and you blow in it so you can go. Well, how about that? Technology. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell you to go have a great day. I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go fuck myself forever. How about that? If I just shut my fucking mouth once in a while. Black guy in a wheelchair. I just covered a lot of bases with you. I don't want you to do that. Oh, you did? I missed it? He did it right when he said it. Well, I was too busy finishing the joke. Listen, don't heckle with your disability, dude, all right? I don't need it right now. How'd you get silently heckled? Guy in a wheelchair did a wheelie. Kind of stole the focus of the whole show. We got 15 minutes left. I hope, everything's good. Last shows of the year. This is how we're going out, baby. All right. Wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up on a little story here, I guess. I moved to the suburbs, as I was saying, and I thought it was going to be cool because I'm from the suburbs. That's where I'm from, and I'm sick of you try to fight against these things about your past that maybe you're ashamed of or it's not cool. And now I'm like, fuck that, man. I'm 45. I'm willing to settle in to the burbs. It's a suburb of Chicago, but it's the same suburb. It's the same one. It's every suburb that you're thinking of. Whichever one. Is it poorly marked and you have to cut across 9 lanes of a highway to find that clover leaf? You know it. Oh, exit 21F. That's not even real. Fuck, semis. some maniacal fucking fun straw clover leaf that just pops you out right into a parking lot between a Chili's and a Fridays. Yep, that's the one. Is there always a family in the parking lot between two restaurants confused? You know it. Which one has that prolapsed onion thing I like so much? All of them, dude. All of them. That's where I live. I go back all the time. My folks are still there. I've spoken about them before. Old Pat and Deb, still kicking it. I love them. They're just in a house. The house I grew up in. It's just the two of them and 3 televisions, all playing HGTV at different volumes to fill in the void that used to be filled with conversation until they ran out of shit to talk about. Now it's just Property Brothers echoing like it's a national anthem in a baseball stadium or something. Maybe we could put in a French drain, a French drain, a French drain. Go back and see him. They're good. I hang out. My dad. Last time I was there, I took my dad to a vegetarian restaurant. He's not vegetarian. Like, he's just like a dude. He's just a Midwest dude. Like, I appreciate that he's not like toxic about stuff. Like, he's not like, gross veggie. He's just like, he's just a 75-year-old guy who just does his thing. And his thing a lot of times, that dude still will just have a steak with a glass of milk. Like, what? Are you trying to put it back together inside of you? What? What kind of carnivorous ship in a bottle is this? Let's get you a leather coat. You can cosplay the whole fucking animal. So the dude he's just set in his ways, you know? He's just that guy. He's just set in his ways. But I'm going to this vegetarian restaurant, Dad, if you want to try it out. And he's like, yeah, I've been to a vegetarian restaurant. I'll give it a shot. So that was cool of him to be like, yeah, I'll try new food. He's just, you know, he's less about pig. He's more like Clean Plate Club. I like food. That's who he is. So I took my dad to this vegetarian restaurant. We're all, as a group, we're there. And he sat at the end of the table, and he got a veggie burger. And I got to watch my father eat a veggie burger for the very first time. Kept it safe, burger. I'm familiar with that part of the word. Let's try it. And I watched him eat a veggie burger for the first time. And now, I don't have kids, but I assume this is what people talk about when they watch their child experience something new for the first time. That maybe like you've lost the excitement for that thing, but to see somebody do it for the first time, you get reinvigorated about watching that. That's what I got watching my dad eat a veggie burger for the first, because he did not like it. And that made it so much more entertaining to view. Because the man's not going to waste food. Not liking something is pretty low on the list of things. Like there's got to be like a human scalp in it for him to be like, I'm going to send this back. The dude was going to get through it. No matter what. And I watched that man just with determination and perseverance. Just, wouldn't use his teeth. It was all like tongue and lips, which I found the strangest way to eat it. The best way I could describe watching that man, it's like, I'm getting like, if there's like a gay guy at an orgy who reluctantly had to go down on a woman, just because that's who was closest to him when everything popped off. Because in my head, that's how orgies work. Like somebody comes in with a starter pistol, and then you have to fuck whoever's closest. And I'm sure some of you are like, Kyle, I don't think you've ever been to an orgy. I have not. No, I have not. My concept is wildly incorrect. I'm aware of that. But in my head, it's like a house in a cul-de-sac, you know, all the families are there, the kids are off somewhere, they're all in there, they're all naked and greased up, but they gotta wait for the go-ahead, because that means consent. You have plenty of time to leave before the fucking flag gets waved, if you're not into it. And so all the dudes are over by the veggie tray and new hors d'oeuvres, because it was their idea, but then now they're having second thoughts. Because they're just like, you know, trying to make more eye contact with their neighbors than they've ever made in their life, just trying to half-mass something over some deviled eggs. Like, sports? Is it sports? It's sports. Sports! And then the wives are all around like the one gay couple in the neighborhood who's kind of talking them through it like, listen, it's going to be fine. Some of your relationships will end, and they should. We'll make sure of it. It's going to be okay, Lee. And then some dude comes in just like, But then the gay guys are encircled by the way. It's like, all right, listen, ladies, just hold still. We're gonna mouth through these boxes to get to the dick. All right, just keep still. That's how I saw my father eating a veggie burger. Just. How you doing? It's like, it's a lot mushier than I thought it was gonna be. Like, I've heard it described that way early on. I have heard it described. It's not the taste, it's the texture. Yeah, the pictures never do it justice. The pictures, yeah, the videos, they don't get you ready for the fucking way it wiggles. What is that, a bean? It is if you're doing it right. You're fine. Everybody's fine. We're all fine. We're all fine. Even this guy woke up. Everybody's fine. All right. Fucking closed out with a pussy eating joke. Now I got 5 minutes left. I was gonna try and talk about cats. All right. Now I know that's the easy thing. Cat's still pussy, man. You get it? Fucking people call cats pussy sometimes. You could use that. How do we fucking... All right. 5 minutes. I got it's all this long form shit. Okay, I'll say that. Okay, all right. I have okay, this is my hardest thing. Like, I feel like I've spoken about it before. It's weird. I'm incredibly judgmental. This is like I'm gonna try and land with like. I don't like this about myself. It's weird. It's we all get to be two different people. We all get to be who we project ourselves through social media, but then we all just have to lay awake at 2 a.m. knowing who we really are. And that's the part I want to be more honest about. I can sit up here and say shit that I think you'll agree with, be like, we can clap about like, oh, he likes this politics or this rule, but then I know I have to lay awake at night going, who are you as a person? And it's, I think I'm left, and I think I'm liberal, but that shit's expensive, first off. It's hard. I want to support all the fucking causes, but it's tough. I want to drink the Wiccan lesbian beer that's only crafted 1 barrel every season, and they're like, well, it's $40 a glass, and I can't do that. I need to drink 12 of these to forget who I am every night, all right? And I know it's owned by the devil. All the fucking cheap beer, all the cheap shit's owned by the demons. And I know that. But sometimes you have to give your money to the demons to be okay with who you are. That's just what happens. So you put in a good day fighting a man and trying to take down fucking evil of the world, and you get home and the vegetarian vegan place where we made it, we have a 3x3 foot garden where we harvest our own herbs, and every dinner's $70 a plate, and we close at 3 p.m. I can't do that after trying to fight the good fight, and you just want Papa John's at the end of the night. But then you can't, just because somebody's like, you can't, he says the N-word. You're like, well, I mean, does he make the whole staff say it, or is it just him? Like, if it's company policy, absolutely not. But if it's just Father Jonathan fucking his own life up, I'm not going to punish a small business owner who's just trying to piggyback on name brand recognition, because I need 2 for $11 right now. I'm starving, right? I was fucking throwing canisters back at cops. I'm very hungry, So it's tough. It's tough. Like, I sometimes like, okay, fine, I can't. I'll just go to Jimmy John's. And somebody's always like, you can't eat at Jimmy John's because he's a big game hunter. And you're like, I don't give a shit. Those sandwiches come with a pickle. And like, also the big game hunting thing, I looked into that one because I was like, fuck, man, I like Jimmy John's. I'll research whether he's a real demon or not. If James Jonathan is big. But the thing is, if you're a big game hunter, if you're doing big game hunting legally, you have to spend so much money on one of those permits, and that money goes back in the conservation effort of those rare animals. So these big game hunters are really the reason that those species are still staying alive, because they pay this exorbitant amount, and they can only hunt one of the older, weaker ones. And then that money saves those other animals. And nobody's cheering because that's still despicable. And we know it is. We know it is because imagine letting anybody else with that kind of attitude towards like existence just be like, look, you want to do what? That's the most horrendous, disgusting. There's the hottest corner of hell reserved for you, sir. And I hope you get there sooner than later. But if the rest of these Cub Scouts are going to get a full ride to college... Listen, I didn't say what the guy wanted to do. That's on you. Your imagination is punishing yourself. You're not mad at me, you're mad at yourself. But it's weird because I know I'm hypocritical. I'll stand up here and tell you, yeah, I think we need, health care for everybody. Health care is a human right, and I believe all that shit. And like, it's universal health care. Like, I can't believe we're a first world country, and you still got to be scared to go to hospital. You can go broke. I'll say that. And you can woo, but know this about me: every time I see somebody on one of those Lime scooters and they're on a sidewalk, I want them to crash so hard that they choke on their fucking little vape gun. And I want the ambulance to get a flat tire on the way to help them. I don't want any health care for that person. I want to watch them die. So who am I really? Who am I really? Oh, abolish student loan debt. Absolutely. We're saddling a generation who's going to have to take care of my generation but they're fucking 5 figures underwater because they were told they had to go to college. And now they're fucked, and I want them to care. Who's going to care about me when I'm 80, when they got roommates when they're 60? They're not going to give a shit. So, yeah, abolish student loan debt. But I also think if you spend $50 to Postmates a Crunchwrap Supreme to yourself, you deserve to be poor. So, who am I really? Who am I really? I do fucking right-wing shit all the time. I buy fast passes at amusement park. I don't have kids. Just alone through the fast line, just in front of a family, staring at me, just 4 kids, like, why you? Because I value disposable income and free time more than whatever this is. That's why. Your problems aren't my problems. Something bootstraps. Yes, I've been on Space Mountain 9 times today. It is running excellently. Blame your mom for thinking you needed this many brothers and sisters. I'm a fucking hypocrite. And I judge people all the time. That's where I feel safe, is judging people. Without, just for no reason, just looking at somebody and being like, you suck. That's all. I don't know anything about them, but that's what I do to everybody because putting people down in my head makes me feel superior. That's a horrible personality trait. Don't admit to it. Don't be like proud of that. It's a bad character trait that we should work harder to be more empathetic. But that's how I feel safe, is that's how I feel guard, is being like, fuck you, you cheat on your wife, your kids don't respect you, you're gonna get fired because nobody likes you at your job. That's how I go through this world. And it's also weird that I'm like that, because I don't know if it's age at 45 or if it's different medications that I'm on for various ailments that I have, but know this about me. I always have some pee in my pants. Not enough to go to the doctor, but enough to keep me humble, so I leave it there. Because I feel the universe wants me to be a better person. And that's how it's showing me. Just, I shake it twice and I choke it like a benevolent mob boss. You said you'd have the money by Wednesday, now it's Sunday. Where's the money, Tony? It's like, the ponies didn't come in like the way I wanted them to. Just give me a few more days. Okay, but only a few. And I tuck it back into my panties, and it's immediate betrayal. As soon as I put it in there, just a little cat bath right in front. Just a little bit. I don't have to go home and change, but I got a cold tip for the rest of the day. And I leave it there because I think that's me learning a lesson. Because I'll be like, look at this fucking asshole. I bet he never told his son he loves him, and his son's never going to tell his son he loves him. And it's just going to be this whole trail of these fucking men that don't know how to express their emotions appropriately, and it's going to trickle down, and there's never going to be a true feeling. Then I have to be like, wait, Kyle, do you think he's got some pee in his pants right now? I have to be like, I don't know you, and you don't know me. Let's just get through this world being a little bit more compassionate. I think that's what we got to do. I'm going to go. Thank you very much, you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night.